Welcome back to the filmmarriott.net YouTube channel. Once again, teamed up with my podcast partner from the PMK podcast. It is the fabulous diva herself, Mrs. Katherine Ellis. Big drum roll, big head swish.
PMK TV for filmmarriott.net.
filmmarriott.net.
I wrote those, copyright Katherine Ellis. Well, I suppose the lyrics are by you, aren't they, filmmarriott.net? Phil, we've written a song. I think we should sing this whole interview. Everything we say should have a tune today.
What, like in a musical?
Exactly like that.
We could pretend we're in La Cage aux Folles.
Yes, we could. I could actually whip out some fascinators right now.
Now, we've been to quite a few films recently because we've done the BFI Flair Festival, so if you want to check out some of the previous videos on our YouTube channel, you can. But for now, we've seen something that wasn't part of BFI Flair. It's a movie that's coming out at the end of April called Lady Macbeth. Now, you didn't know anything about this until I said to you, do you want to go and see it? And I didn't know anything until I'd seen the trailer. Once I'd seen the trailer, that was it. I was captivated. I really wanted to see it. Did you get that feeling from the trailer?
Yeah, it was very atmospheric and moody, and I loved the colour palette. It was all kind of set on the moors, isn't it? And it's all that sort of olive green and dark green and grey and blue and slate, and it's
very
just
moody.
all quite austere, the whole thing.
Now, I'm not a big history fan. Obviously, this is based on a 19th century novel, or novella, I should say. It's an adaptation for the screen, starring a woman. Actually, I didn't actually know until recently that she had only been in one other movie, which was The Falling. Did you see The Falling a few years ago? With Maisie Williams. You know Maisie Williams because you're a big fan of Game of Thrones.
Oh, who does she play?
She was in a film with her called The Falling a few years ago.
All right.
Maisie Williams. But her name is Florence Pugh. Now, she plays a young bride sold into quite a miserable marriage with somebody who's probably twice her age, more than twice her age.
Completely miserable.
Yeah. Very aggressive way he treats her.
He's very
nice.
Unpleasant, unloving, uncaring. He stifles her. He doesn't even want her leaving the house, does he? I think it's fair to say he doesn't really like her very much. And they live with his equally horrendous father, which is probably the reason the son is so awful, because the father is overbearing and just thoroughly unpleasant. It's a very unhappy house, all the servants and the staff.
Well, I think we could say that she rebels. She certainly rebels from
Certainly does rebel.
Rather unhappy marriage.
With dramatic effect and consequences. There was a lot of space. A lot of it was set on the moors or in this big house, which was sparsely. It wasn't really decorated. There weren't kind of pictures on the wall. It was all very sort of empty.
And you can hear that as well with the sound design. You can hear the echoes of the massive rooms and the way that their shoes kind of clip-clop across the wooden floors. It's quite sensual actually, which is weird because it's a very, in a way, it should be a sensual story. I suppose there is a lot of sensuality in it.
Well, I thought the way it was directed and shot, the people in it, the characters in it, were very much in your face and front and centre. And you felt very intimately involved with them. They seemed to sort of take up the whole space. Do you know what I mean?
Although I didn't like all the characters, they still had that power where I was captivated by their performances. But yeah, I was intrigued right from the start, right from the opening scene. That was it for me. I was really fascinated by the whole story.
It's a very dark, gothic tale, isn't it?
It is. It's been described as something that's quite Hitchcockian. So if you like Alfred Hitchcock stuff, it's certainly got elements of his style, I think, in it.
I don't think I could have predicted what eventually happened, particularly. Could you?
I certainly didn't guess what was going to happen in one of the closing moments of the last 10 minutes, which I thought was quite disturbing. It was something I thought that you might be quite affected by and quite disturbed by. Were you disturbed by that, without obviously saying too much?
Well, no, not particularly. No. But I can't really say why. Ask me later when people have seen it. Yeah, I wouldn't say this is a horror. It was a grisly tale of this woman, this sort of downtrodden woman, and her, you know, and how she deals with that situation.
Her revenge, I was going to say, but then that makes it sound like, well, I suppose if she had power, you don't want to say that it was a good thing necessarily, because
No.
you know, it's not all cheery, is it? It's not a cheery result by any means.
In fact, when we left the cinema, we both felt so wrapped up in the atmosphere of it that we didn't feel able to do our review, did we?
No, actually, that's a really good point. I felt a bit speechless afterwards. That you did as well, didn't you?
I think it really affected us, and I think we needed to discuss it, and we needed to process it and sort of sit with the atmosphere of the movie.
That's really weird. You should say that, because when I got home, Jeremy said to me, "You're acting a bit strangely. You're not saying much. You're a bit weird." But I felt quite shell shocked by what we'd just seen.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a powerful movie. I don't want to say that it's, you know, a film that's going to make you feel depressed, because it's certainly not that kind of film. Because you do see a lot of beauty in it. I mean, the cinematography is fantastic, and it's very, you know, there's a lot of lightness in it, in what you're watching, but obviously the subject matter is very dark, so it's got a nice balance. I think it's not something that you're going to feel wretched after watching, I don't think.
No, and you do have sympathy with all the characters for different reasons, even if you don't like what they do or agree with how they go about things. You can
see, that's a good point as well. Did you feel sympathy for the main character, for Florence Pugh's character, Katherine?
I did. I thought she was, you know, in a way she was backed into a corner, and what choices did she have? I would just say that it's beautifully made. All the actors are fantastic. I don't think there was a weak link in it. Did you?
They are superb. No, I don't think there was either. I can't criticise any part of it. I was fascinated by the story. I thought the story was great. Bearing in mind, I think it's quite a short novel. I think they've done a really good job of actually making it into an hour and a half long movie. I think it kept me guessing all the way through. I thought the story was fantastic. I thought the performances, direction was great. And particularly Florence Pugh, I thought she reminded me a bit of a cross between Charlotte Church and Elizabeth Olsen. I think she had a really strong, striking face, a really beautiful face, and a really powerful performance. An amazing actress. You know, to consider that this is her second movie role, I think she's got a really promising future.
Yeah, definitely.
In the movies, especially.
Go and see it!
Yes, big thumbs up. Big wounded thumb from me, and
5 stars!
2 thumbs from you.